"Leave the car right where it is," my mother-in-law, Patricia, was shouting as loud as she could. Her voice was so high and angry it made my ears ring. I was starting to drive away from the side of the road, trying to find some peace and safety. I looked up into the mirror and saw her. She was actually running after my fancy silver car, her face red with anger and her hands waving in the air. In the back seat, my sweet 3-year-old son, Noah, was sitting very quietly. He was holding on to his favorite little red toy truck. He held it so tight, like it was the most important thing in the whole world. He could probably feel how tense I was. Just 20 minutes before this moment, everything seemed perfectly fine. We were all together in our sunny backyard, celebrating my father-in-law finishing his many years of work. There was a big, delicious cake with white frosting and a lot of happy laughter in the air. At least, I thought we were all happy. But all afternoon, Patricia had been making little mean comments. They were small at first, but they really hurt my feelings. She told me she didn't like the job I had. She picked on the clothes I chose to wear that day. Most of all, she kept saying that my husband, Daniel, was the one who paid for every single thing we had. She acted like I was just a guest in my own life. I tried my very best to ignore her. I didn't want to make a scene. I really wanted the day to be special for my father-in-law, because he had worked so hard for so long. But then, she looked right at little Noah. She told my son that his daddy was the only reason we had a roof over our heads. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. That was a lie, and it was a mean thing to say to a small child. I looked her right in the eyes and told her she should never say things like that to my son. Suddenly, the whole backyard went completely silent. You could hear the wind blowing through the green leaves in the trees. It felt like everyone was holding their breath. Then Daniel looked at me, but he wasn't on my side at all. He didn't defend me or tell his mother to stop. Instead, he told me that I needed to say I was sorry to his mother right then and there. When I told him I wouldn't do that, he got very cold. He told me to go pack my things and get out of his life. My heart sank. I couldn't believe he was choosing his mother's lies over his own wife. So I did what he asked. I went inside, picked up Noah, and grabbed a small bag of our things. I walked out the door without looking back. Daniel didn't even try to stop me from leaving. He just let us walk away into the unknown. As I pulled away in the car, Patricia was still shouting. She wanted me to leave the car behind because she truly believed it belonged to her son. I drove to a small hotel nearby. I was shaking, but I made sure to send a message to Daniel. I let him know exactly where Noah was. I would never use our child as a way to punish him, even though my heart was very heavy and broken. That night, sitting in the quiet hotel room, I kept thinking about one thing. Why were they so sure that the house and the car belonged to Daniel? The answer was something I never expected to be a secret. The next morning, I called my lawyer. I asked him to give Daniel a call. At last, Daniel was going to hear the real truth about our home. My lawyer explained everything clearly. The house and the car were mine. They had been mine before we ever got married. My dear grandmother had left me the house in her will, and I bought the car with money from land she had left me. I had worked hard to keep everything in good shape. When Daniel called me later that day, he didn't even ask about Noah. He didn't ask if his son was okay. He only wanted to know what I had told my lawyer. I told him I told the truth, and I wanted him to do the same. After a long, heavy silence, he finally told me everything. He had been lying to his family for years. His mother always told him he wasn't as successful as his older brother, and he felt embarrassed. To hide his feelings, he told Patricia that he bought the house with his own money. He even told her the car was a gift he bought for me. All those years of his family being mean to me finally made sense. They thought I was just using Daniel's money, because that is the story he told them. But then I found out something even worse than the lies about the house. Daniel had secretly taken almost $12,000 from the money we had saved up together. For a whole year, he had been giving that money to his parents without telling me. That was our money for rainy days. It was meant for emergencies and for Noah's future education. When I asked him why he did it, he said his parents needed help. I asked why he didn't just talk to me about it first. We were supposed to be partners. He told me he knew what I would say, so he just did it behind my back. That broke my heart in a new way. He didn't just forget to tell me. He decided my opinion, and my feelings didn't matter at all. I realized then that this wasn't just about one big fight in a backyard. It was about years of small secrets and lies that had grown into a giant mountain of pain. A few days later, we all had a meeting. Patricia was still acting angry. She still thought I had taken something from her son. I didn't want to argue anymore. I just put the official legal papers for the house and the car on the table for them to see. I told Daniel it was time to be honest. He finally admitted everything. He told them the house and car were always mine. Patricia was shocked. She asked how he could let her treat me so badly when he knew the truth. Daniel just said that telling the truth would have made him look bad. For a long time, nobody said a word. Daniel asked if we could just go home and forget it all. I told him no. You can't just forget. The truth was out, but it didn't fix the sadness. However, over the next few months, he really tried to show he was sorry. He paid back all the money he took from our savings. He went to talk to a kind person who helps with feelings. He also stopped trying to make his mother happy all the time. Then, at a family dinner, someone made a joke about our property war. Before I could say anything, Daniel spoke up. He told everyone there was no war. He told them he was the one who lied, and that the house and car were always mine. That moment meant more than any apology because he chose to be honest in front of everyone. We are slowly trying to be a family again. I learned that forgiving someone is not the same as forgetting, and trust has to be earned back every single day by being honest and kind. If this story made you think about love and trust, I would love to hear what you would have done in my place. Please stay with our group to hear more stories like this one.